Ciao everyone and welcome back to the analysis of the song that ranked 11th at Sanremo Music Festival 2026 with the special participation of Rumi, who today feels quite a technician, so he really needs with all his being to be around while I am recording. Guys, it's either with him or I'm not recording today, so we go with Rumi. Anyway, today is like this. I was saying Poesie Clandestine by LDA Aka7, whose names were like mispronounced in all the possible ways, but hey, we are going to talk about their names also, but at the end. First, let's focus on the song. Now, Poesie Clandestine, meaning literal translation of the title, is a clandestine poems. As in underground, illegal, not like hinting at something that it shouldn't happen. Why this is related to the meaning. However, when asked to present the song, they weren't they didn't say much, to be fair, because when asked about the song, they said it's a song about love, a visceral love, it's a song that could be dedicated to many things, to many people, and they kept repeating this in several interviews because they said you can dedicate it to a person you love, to a friend, to a city, generally to something or someone you feel about the same way expressed through the song, okay? So they were very general about it and it was wanted because they really said we want you to interpret it your own way, to think about how you feel this way, like towards what or whom you feel about this way. And then there was a basic idea. It talks about a love that's both visceral and fleeting, because the two people can't unite their love, but they leave it 100%. That's why clandestine, because it is a forbidden love, okay? But then what Lorenzo Coveri said, we always talk about what he says. This is one of the few times where I'm not as agreeing with him. I will explain why at the end. He said they are very young per duo. They're also roommate. We're going to talk about their other roommates after also. Formed by LDA, an acronym of Luca D'Alessio, so LDA, Luca D'Alessio, because it's the apostrophe Alessio. 22, son of Gigi D'Alessio. If you know a bit about Italian songs, you surely know Gigi D'Alessio. So, thank you, Technician Cat, always with us. And Aka7, Luca Marzano, from Vico Equenese 25. His nickname comes from also known as, so of course English, plus an alphanumeric acronym in the so-called LitSpeak. So, what is the LitSpeak? It is a system of modified spelling used primarily on the internet where letters are replaced with numbers or special characters that resemble them visually. In fact, he's called Aka, aka 7, but instead of the S, he has the 7 in the number. A love song addressed to a classic female you, so an impersonal female you, with Naples, even its underground, in the background. The intro is a perfect Ramazzotti 1990 echo, dated language, labored and predictable imagery, a solemnity that clashes with the story of a young love. Perhaps a more personal and sincere note can be detected, not surprisingly, in the only verse in Napolitan dialect, which is the pre-chorus. Too little, but they will grow. Now, due to this, he gave them 4.80 out of 10, very low score, one of the lowest, by the way, and I don't agree about it, but I'm going to give context once I finished analyzing the lyrics. Now, talking about the lyrics, let's see them, no? We start with an intro. Se bastasse una sola canzone per vivere un attimo, eternamente sarei condannato a una folle bugia. e da questo dolore che nasce un amore catartico, sembra fatto per noi. If just one song were enough to live a moment, I would be eternally condemned to a crazy lie. It is from this pain that a cathartic love is born. It seems made for us. So, let's start with the first line. The incipit is a reference. In fact, there is a very famous song by Eros Ramazzotti that it is titled, guess what, Se bastasse una canzone, and it starts more or less like this. Then we have, syntactically speaking, an inversion because they say eternamente sarei condannato a una folle bugia. Normally it would be sarei eternamente condannato eternamente a una folle bugia. So we have a syntactic inversion. And then we have a cathartic love. What is a cathartic love? It is a reference to the Aristotelian concept of catharsis, the purging of emotions, pity and fear through art or tragedy. The song suggests that this painful love actually cleanses the soul. Generally something that is cathartic, it is something positive, because through a negative emotion, you are able to cleanse yourself of these negative emotions. For example, when watching a tragedy where you see bad things happening, you cry and you cleanse yourself of the negative emotions. And then we have a verse. Ti ho dedicato poesie clandestine, io che ti inseguo mentre te ne vai. Neanche le onde agitate stanotte sanno dove sei. I dedicated clandestine poems to you, I who chase you as you live, not even the rough waves tonight know where you are. Here neanche le onde agitate stanotte sanno dove sei. This syntax can also use the subjunctive, so we could say neanche le onde sanno dove tu sia, but as we said several times, since we are using the verb sapere, we can express certainty through the indicative mood. So we can avoid using the subjunctive in favor of the indicative to state certainty. So it is certain that not even the waves know where you are. This image of the sea keeps coming back because, of course, the whole story is heavily centered on Naples. Naples is on the sea. È la frenesia che ti porta a sparire per evitare una notte di guai, così avvolgente che rende reale l'effetto che fai. It's the frenzy that makes you disappear to avoid a night of trouble, so enveloping that it makes the effect you have real. And then we have what we could call a pre-chorus or a bridge towards the chorus, which is the only line in Napolitan dialect. So, what they say is O sai che na tarantella si non ci puti muovere, which in Italian would be sai che è una tarantella se non ci possiamo vedere, quando non ci possiamo vedere, which means, you know, it's a tarantella if we cannot see each other. Now, we talked about a tarantella other times. Tarantella, basically, it is a type of dance you have in certain Italian regional cultures, because of course we have traditions and dances typical of certain regions. In South Italy, I think the tarantella is mainly tied to Sicily, but generally it is a type of dance that comes from the tarantula, the spider, because ideally when the tarantula was biting you, to survive you had to sweat off dancing the poison of the spider. And so it is this very energetic dance. However, due to this move, okay, in certain southern dialect, tarantella, it can also used as a synonym of a problem, an issue, a mess. So in this case, we could translate it as, it's a mess, it's a problem, it's a struggle if we cannot see each other. And this line, that's why I'm not sure if it can be considered a pre-chorus or a bridge between the verse and the chorus, does exactly what I said. So it creates, rhythmically speaking, a bridge between the verse and the chorus. Then we have the chorus, which has an interesting point on the interpretation of the song. Tu verrai sempre prima di me, prima di lei, perché solo così ci sentiamo a casa, è una metropoli solitaria. You will always come before me, before her, because this is the only way we feel at home. It's a lonely metropolis. So, one of the most common interpretations of this song is that the song is actually dedicated to the lover, the mistress, the side chick, the other one, whatever you want to call her. Generally, Sanremo Music Festival has the classic love song dedicated to the current partner or the ex-partner. This it's either we are together and we are happy, we are together and we are in a toxic relationship, we left each other and now I miss you, we left each other and now you miss me, we left each other and now we miss each other. We left each other because we were in a toxic relationship. So you have all these tropes basically. But dedicating a song to the other one, it's quite uncommon. That's why my opinion was quite interesting. Because it is basically a song admitting an affair. And since it is a problematic love, a troubled love, a forbidden love, it's not a forbidden love, it is just because it is not supposed to happen, because it is about having an affair. And this interpretation is proved even more by other things that are being said further in the song. So let's check. Well, first, moving on to the second part of the chorus, there is an oxymoron here, because we have una metropoli solitaria, a lonely metropolis, while a metropolis, by definition, is a place crowded, where are many people. So this is a metaphor about feeling lonely between a crowd of people. So the thesis of the affair keeps gaining evidence. And then we have questa storia che è piena di piena di sé, come te, bella da farmi mancare l'aria, tu sei Napoli sotterranea. This story that is full of buts, full of ifs, like you, beautiful enough to make me gasp for air. Literally, mancare l'aria, like I am missing the air, like I cannot breathe, I cannot, you made me gasp. You are underground Naples. Now, what is underground Naples? For those of you who wants to go and visit Naples, it is very recommending visiting Napoli Sotterranea, underground Naples. Because under Naples, it's full of ancient tunnels, catacombs, and it is very suggestive. It is very beautiful. That's why I am really recommending visiting it if you are going to visit Naples. Because it is one of those places, like also the catacombs of Rome or Paris. It is very beautiful. And here the metaphor is you are beautiful and hidden like underground Naples, which is a very good, very interesting metaphor in my opinion. Questa musica sale nel sangue carnale, d'amore si muore soltanto con te. This music rises in the blood carnal, one dies of love only with you. And then we have the second verse. Tu sei capace di farmi soffrire. Siamo in un limbo tra sogni e realtà. Ogni ferita dimostra soltanto quanto ti vorrei. You're capable of making me suffer. We are in a limbo between dreams and reality. Every wound only proves how much I want you. Ma c'è chi giudica senza capire che non è giusto provare a metà un sentimento che basta da solo a parlare di noi. But there are those who judge without understanding that it's not right to feel halfway, a feeling that alone is enough to speak for us, to speak about us, to describe us. And it's very, very beautiful image here. And then we have a bridge that is leading towards almost the last section of the song. Piangeremo un mare, 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 negli occhi lacrime di sale. We'll cry a sea, repeated 3 times, tears of salt in our eyes. Now, in Italian, we do not have the idiom to cry a river, okay? We say more piangere come una fontana, to cry like a fountain, because you have like the stream of water like in the fountains, right? Here, however, the idea is similar to cry a river, but here is the sea first, because we are telling the story with Naples on the background, so the sea, as I said, it is very recurring. And also because we are talking about crying, and tears are salty, as said, negli occhi lacrime di sale, tears of in the eyes, tears of salt. So very interesting again. Then we have once again the pre-chorus, and then which doesn't change, and then we have the chorus again, which does not change. And then we have again a bridge, and this time leading towards the last part of the song, which is going to be a little variation of the chorus. Cosa c'è tra la vita e la morte se non un paradiso di colpe? Siamo anime in preda alla sorte, in fondo sai che nel bene o nel male sarai, la mia cura alla malinconia che mi prende e mi porta da te. Repeated 3 times. What lies between life and death, if not a paradise of guilt? We are souls at the mercy of fate. Deep down, you know that for better or worse, you will be my cure for melancholy that takes me and brings me to you. And again, we have another evidence of the thesis of the having an affair, because we have what lies between life and death. So what is life if not a paradise of guilt? With a little thing to precise that in Italian la colpa, the guilt, can be used in the singular form, but we also have the plural form, le colpe. So we have la colpa, le colpe. It's like the guilt, the guilts. In English, you just use guilt in the singular. You don't really use the plural, but in Italian you can do it. And these experience, despite being guilty, despite being prohibited and forbidden, it is heavenly. And then we have, as I said, the end of the song, which is a variation of the chorus. Tu verrai sempre prima di me, prima di lei, perché solo così ci sentiamo a casa, è una metropoli solitaria. You will always come before me, before her, because this is the only way we feel at home. It's a lonely metropolis. Questa storia che è piena di ma, piena di sé come te, bella da farmi mancare l'aria, tu sei Napoli sotterranea. This story that is full of buts, full of ifs like you, beautiful enough to make me gasp for air. You are underground Naples. Questa musica sale nel sangue carnale, d'amore si muore soltanto con te. D'amore si muore soltanto con, and the line is cut here. And this is the difference, because we have this music rises in the blood carnal, one dies of love only with you, which is how normally the chorus is, but for the conclusion we have one more repetition of the last line, which however it is cut. So one dies of love only with, and the line is cut. So this was the lyrics of Poesie Clandestine by LDA and Aka7. So what is the tea that I'm bringing today? So first of all, that as promised, the names. LDA stands for Luca D'Alessio, son of the Italian very famous singer and songwriter Gigi D'Alessio, while Aka7, in English would be aka7, is Luca Marzano, which created his name due to a traumatic experience he had to go through, because at the age of 7, so when he was 7 years old, he went through a very complicated time when, due to encephalitis, so if I remember correctly, is very violent inflammation of your brain. He found himself in coma for 7 days, so that's why the 7, aka 7. More funny tea. During the announcement of Sanremo, the music festival, so in December, we have the artistic director deciding who is going to participate in the Sanremo Music Festival, because generally at the end of Sanremo Music Festival of the year before, people start candidating for the next year, because of course the moment Sanremo finishes, they have to start organize the one for the next year, and generally the artistic director takes until around December to decide who are going to be the 30 singers participating in the contest, in the festival. And generally what happens is that the announcement is made in one of our main broadcast, is like the telegiornale, so like the news show, which is called the TG1 because it is broadcasted on the main channel, which is the channel number 1. And what happens is that generally you have the pictures of like a graphical part with the photos of the participants, and then a part of the graphics presenting their names and the title of the song. Problem, however, when they showed the pictures of LDA and Aka7, for some reason which is not clear, instead of putting the photo of Aka7, they put the photo of Stefano Scala, who is an actor. It is he's an Italian actor, I guess around the same age, more or less, of Aka7. Fun fact, Aka7, LDA, and Stefano Scala are all from Naples, so I don't know if there was an issue in the database or what. But we had a very funny moment where everyone was like, there is not Aka7, who is that person? And apparently then LDA and Aka7 became friends because of this with Stefano Scala, so top 10 out of 10 experience. Also, as I was saying, the peculiarity about them is that they live together, oh my god, and they were roommates. But not only, they are 5 people living together. It is these 2 plus other 3 musicians. So like an apartment in Milan divided in 5 people, all musician, like 10 out of 10 experience. And also congrats to our great LDA and Aka7 because they won the Fanta Sanremo 2026. They studied it, chat. They are what, like champions, goats. They they study the rules of Fanta Sanremo just to win it. Like incredible, amazing. what can I say? Like chads. Anyway, what else? Oh, right. At the beginning, I was saying that I don't really agree with the analysis of Lorenzo Coveri, as in, generally, I do agree. I don't agree about the evaluation because he said, this is a description of a young love, and the use terminology and the metaphors used, it is too much. In my opinion, no, like they are describing a love story. It is never said that this is a love story between young people. That's why it doesn't clash, in my opinion, the way the story is told. And the fact that it wasn't appreciated, like we had several songs that were the classical song about, oh, I broke up with my ex, we had a toxic relationship, nye, 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 bad love story. Or like, oh my god, I miss so much my ex. Like things that people sang so many times, so banal, so much repeated. Then we have two people singing about something that normally is not sung about because it's about an affair. Like, it's not really well seen. So they are singing about something that happens. They are describing the song they are describing the situation, this relationship very well. The metaphors are on point. The vocabulary is very well put. The musicality, the way it fit also it's true that for Lorenzo Coveri, he doesn't take into consideration the performance because when he does before having the Sanremo Music Festival, the lyrics are released before, so we can read them. So generally, he does the review of just the lyrics without taking into consideration the performance. We had other groups, bands, and whatnot, but most important, we had another couple participating this year, which arrived in top 5, Fedez e Masini. And one of the criticism that I had for them is that as a duo, they were completely unbalanced. Like Fedez was completely overshadowed, they were not harmonic, while LDA and Aka7, you cannot like the fact that it's very dense summer vibe song, okay? But objectively, they were a lot in harmony while singing. Like, it's very harmonic, they are not stomping on each other. So, in my opinion, this duo worked very well. And it makes sense. At the beginning, I was like, huh, but it's just the classic summer song. They arrived 11th, probably lower, should have been better. But after the analysis, I have to say that 11th was well deserved. Even putting them higher, like, why not? Why not? Makes sense. And the fact that they got criticized for the song they made feels a bit like just because they are young, they cannot talk about mature love or certain love stories. No. The fact that they are also young, they are 22 and 25, like, they are not 18 years old. And so, like, the fact that, oh, they are too young, their metaphors, their language is too much. No, in my opinion, it is not. I am much more critic of adult and experienced artists talking about love in a very childish way, which is generally criticism that I have, if you remember, for the other song talking about toxic love and whatnot, like I would expect a 20 years old doing. Okay, them being more adult than you might expect is a source of prize for my perspective. I am critic for the reverse. If you are young and you demonstrate you can have a more adult thinking, it's something positive to praise. If you are adult and experienced, I have a higher bar for you because you have to show what you did until there. Like, I would expect some experience, some maturity from you. So if you sing a silly song like you were 20 years old, I am going to be harsher on you, not the reverse. The reverse doesn't make sense to me. So this was a bit the reason why I don't agree. It almost seemed that they were criticized just because they are younger than average. So like, oh, there is no way they are as mature. Why? Why? Like you can learn from others people experience. Many artists listen, are very good listeners, and they are very good storytellers. So even if they didn't experience the story themselves, if they are good enough, they can still represent it, right? Convey it. And in my opinion, is what happened a bit with LDA and Aka7, but maybe it is me. I don't know. Anyway, that said, this was the analysis of Poesie Clandestine by LDA and Aka7. Let me know in the comments what you think about this song. I hope you enjoyed. Grazie everyone for watching and arrivederci.